Welcome to the Burnout to Lit Up podcast. I am your host, Erica Del Pozo, occupational therapist, certified health coach, CEO and founder of Joy Energy Time, Miami girl, and pineapple lover. In this podcast, we provide the resources on how to deal with stress, burnout, and anxiety, how to get energized, find true satisfaction and alignment in your life, and more. You will learn how to slay your burnout beast and go from burnt out to a lit up life. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Burnout to Lit Up podcast. Today we are getting green. It's going to be a good one. I'm really excited because I've been passionate about this since I was young, like 11 years old. Oh my God, I have a funny story. Actually, I just changed my fun fact. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 fun facts today. But anyway, we're getting green today. The first fun fact that I had planned is that I bought kombucha for the first time yesterday. Oh my God, I love saying it. Kombucha. It's so fun. And I particularly made sure I bought kombucha from Health Aid. Health Aid is a brand that I heard about through Tone It Up because they have some sort of partnership with kombucha. I mean, with Health Aid, I believe, or it just seems that way. And I heard an interview on the Almost 30 podcast, which, by the way, guys, is one of my favorite podcasts. You should definitely listen to Almost 30, besides this one, of course. But Almost 30, and they had the founder of Health Aid on the show, and I realized how high quality their product is, and it's brewed in glass versus plastic. I don't know, like all these amazing things that you definitely want to be putting in your body. And so I wanted to go with a high quality kombucha brand. I'm getting so fancy here with my Health Aid kombucha. So I haven't tried it yet. So gosh, next episode, or I don't record these all in the same order. Whatever. At some point, I will talk about what my thoughts are on kombucha. But the fun fact now I have for you that wasn't planned was that when I was 11 years old, I started to donate money to the World Wildlife. Oh my God, what's it called? The WWE? The World Wildlife. I don't remember, but you know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's World Wildlife Federation, WWF. Yeah, I started donating like quarters and like dollars, whatever I had to them, and they would send me like this cute little package that I was helping to like adopt a panda, and I was really into the environment from a really young age. So this episode is not necessarily about the environment, but it's about how green spaces can improve your health, and I'm going to dive into a little bit more than just that. But that's basically the gist of the episode. I'm just so into nature. If you were to ask Mike, my husband, what if I'm into nature, he would tell you no, that I don't like nature. I just don't like bugs, okay? But I like nature. I like beautiful scenery. I like being in nature. So this episode is going to go into the wonderful benefits that being in nature has on you. So we're going to get green. I'm going to start off by saying that we have deeply lost touch with nature as a species. That's kind of broad, but just bear with me. Just hang in there with me. We have deeply lost our touch with nature, especially in the Western society. I guess that's more accurate. So what really inspired this talk was also the fact that I was watching this amazing documentary on my flight back from Spain called Love Thy Nature. So that really inspired this and inspired me to do research for this episode. So, I mean, it was just 100% spot on, like 10 out of 10. Like they really blew it out of the water for me. I loved that documentary, Love Thy Nature, because it's true. It's so true. And we have lost our touch with nature. Our connection to earth and nature is not only vital to our well-being, but also vital to solving environmental and climate crises. So I'm going to start off with an obvious fact. We are all humans. We are Homo sapiens. We have come a very long way in a short amount of time in our existence on this planet. We have come so far along that we live in high rises, we take trains and planes, and we have artificial lights, and we have iPads, and we have definitely transcended nature. We don't really need to struggle to survive as a species anymore. Because of that, we think we are separate or above nature. We have distanced ourselves as a society from nature. We have homes that have lots of nice things, and we have screens that entertain us, and we can fill the void with a lot of things and stuff. And because of that, consequently, we are at the same time kind of spiraling downwards, and our health is suffering, and our well-being is suffering. We live in the wonderful era of technology. It is definitely both a blessing and a curse. I mean, we have advanced so much medically and with our technology, and people are living longer and people are healthier, and that's amazing. But listen carefully. I have seen kids overstimulated and underoccupied. It's an oxymoron, but I have seen it occur working with kids and having family that has kids. I have seen kids overstimulated and underoccupied. I've seen kids that go on medication for, let's say, attention, but other lifestyle factors are not adjusted. And this age of technology has brought people from all over the world together and has really connected us. But at the same time, technology has also distanced two friends at lunch because they're on their phones connecting with other people. And this revolution has allowed information to travel right to your fingertips. So your amygdala is always on high alert. And I talk a lot about that in an earlier episode. Kids are playing outside less and staying inside more. People are spending less time in the sun, spending less time outside. We expect everything to happen right now. Our attention spans have definitely shortened. And I could just say, as a society, we're not grounded. But technology isn't the problem. It's neutral. Technology is neutral. It's how we use it, because we do use it for life-saving purposes, but we also use it to numb us. We can use technology to seek sustainable solutions to human challenges, such as by emulating nature's patterns and strategies. So I did not come up with that. That is a statement straight from the Biomimicry Institute. They aim to solve our human problems using nature's solutions. They state that the core idea is that nature has already solved so many problems that we as humans are struggling with. Animals, plants, and microbes have been engineers for billions of years. And after billions of years of research and development, failures are fossils. And what surrounds us is the secret to survival. So this is just like a little plug for this institute that the documentary Love Thy Nature, they talk about the Biomimicry Institute, and I loved it because they are using nature to create sustainable designs and solutions around energy, transportation, architecture, agriculture, medicine, and communication. So they are working with the earth and using nature's solutions for our struggles. The old model that that kind of arose in the 100 years ago was that we're going to extract from the earth, and we're going to take whatever we want at whatever price. We're going to take, and take. But the new model is that we can work with nature to get what we want, but also by treating the earth kindly as we should and really respect what nature has to teach us. So I feel that I just had to talk about that, and you have to watch the documentary. Liam narrates it, so it's really good. It's just important. I think I got off a little bit on a rabbit hole. Before I sink deeper in that rabbit hole, I'm going to talk about, okay, so why is this important for us, healthcare professionals, people in general, humans? Why is it important for us to reconnect with the earth for the sake of our health, and how we can go about doing that? So I'm going to go into talking about having a green workplace to start with. A green workplace can reduce stress. So down the street from me, there is a dentist office, and every time I pass it, the building looks abandoned, to be honest. It looks like there's weeds everywhere. I don't even see a parking lot. I never really thought about it till I met the owner of the clinic at this free event I went to, and he was talking about his dentist office, and I was like, wow, I always thought it was abandoned. But no, he did that design for a purpose. He surrounded his dental office with all these plants and flowers, and when you're getting your dental treatment, there's all these windows. I have yet to make an appointment, but I am definitely going to make an appointment there because I want to see what this is like. I saw pictures of it, but he was saying how he did that on purpose so that when people are getting their dental treatments, they always have a window and they can always look outside and be surrounded by nature, not just looking at the highway. And I thought, wow, that is amazing, because so many people fear the dentist and have this discomfort at the dentist, but when you have a view of nature, it's actually really soothing and can reduce stress. Since plants are natural, they provide a comfortable and relaxing touch to any office space. This increases productivity in employees because when a person is less stressed, they work better. So having plants and trees and flowers to look at from the inside out is very soothing, but having plants indoors can actually improve the quality of the air. There are many indoor plants you can get that are especially great for absorbing pollutants and cleaning the air. So some of these include aloe vera, spider plants, snake plants, English ivy. Those are just a few. I'm not a plant expert, so you would have to look that up. Those are just a few that I found on the internet. And I actually noticed that I love going to bars and cafes and restaurants that have a lot of greenery, whether that's inside or outside. I love being surrounded by beauty in that sense, not only because it's very Instagrammable, but because I actually feel very happy and relaxed eating and drinking in an area that is really green. So that's something that, researching for this episode, I noticed that I tend to gravitate towards those type of places. So the headquarters of Amazon is definitely doing it right. They are practically a greenhouse and a botanical garden. So according to Google, the future of work will take place in forests and wildflower meadows, next to streams and green areas, amongst bike lanes and yoga classes and water fountains with fresh produce to hand out, and of course, a good Wi-Fi connection to get your work done. I mean, if that's the future of work, according to Google, I need that future in my life right now, because if I could work in a forest or in a field of flowers and take yoga classes for my lunch break and have a fresh vegetable garden and get my work done, I would be like the happiest little clam in the world. In Spain, Andrea Badin, she is the head architect of La Habitación Verde, and she states, quote, "Every company can incorporate this model, scaling it according to its size and the resources available. What is important is the decision to bring such spaces into the office so that offices are brought out of their current state of general neglect," end quote. I like bolded that in my little script here because so offices can be brought out of their current state of general neglect. I mean, isn't that true? Like, hello? I go into a typical office and I just want to die. I get so turned off by artificial lighting and windowless offices and poor office design. And it's It's so unnatural. Like, it just makes me feel sick. And no wonder presenteeism, which I talk about in another episode, is a thing, because people can get sick in their work environments, in their indoor environments. It just makes me want to throw up. As a healthcare professional, it could be a challenge because it could be hard to avoid. We work in hospitals and clinics and different environments that are not generally designed to include natural lighting and greenery, like where we are in windowless patient rooms and whatever, and we cannot be exposed to anything natural or organic the entire day. Like, as an OT, I have definitely worked in little treatment rooms that are windowless and have fluorescent lighting, and I still do. But I do thankfully have access to a few rooms in my clinic that have windows to the outdoor parking lot, but still the parking lot has a lot of trees and plants. So makes me feel better than that little difference makes me feel better than being in another room without windows and fluorescent lighting. So it's really difficult. It's a challenge for healthcare professionals, but I have seen newer hospitals have improved their designs, and a lot of hospitals have gardens, so you could take your lunch out there or take a walk or even take patients down there. Like, we used to take patients down to the downstairs garden if they were able to go down there. And being around greenery and nature and having that design optimal for that, it makes everyone feel better, patients and the healthcare professionals. When I was doing my internship in Boston, it was difficult because I was there during autumn and it would get dark so early. So I would wake up and it was dark. By the time I got home, it was dark. It wasn't even that late. It was like 5 o'clock. And I was barely exposed to any natural light. I had to make the effort to go out for lunch and walk to the nearby Starbucks because there was a beautiful bridge over this stream of water and beautiful autumn trees. And I made sure that I got a little bit of sunlight, a little bit exposure to nature, even if it was just for like a 10-minute walk, because that was better than just being inside all day or being exposed to the darkness. I can definitely see how seasonal depression could be a real thing. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I've never experienced that, but I can see how it can really affect you because it was affecting me. And I was only in Boston for 3 months, and 2 out of those 3 months were only autumn. So yeah, it wasn't even like full blown winter yet. Oh no, winter hadn't even started. I mean, for me, it was like winter. It was really cold, but it was just autumn. So yeah, that could be a whole other episode. Seasonal mental health conditions. But anyway, before I get off track once again, I did talk about the innovative hospital designs. There's a hospital by my parents' house called Memorial Miramar. It is a part of the Memorial Healthcare System, and they have a really nice design. Like, I feel like I'm in a hotel. I don't feel like I'm going to a hospital. I love making appointments there because of how good I feel when I go there. And it's very beautiful. So I think newer hospitals are catching up to this design. And there was a study done by Professor Dana Goldman and Associate Professor John Romley at the Schaefer Center for Health Policy and Economics at the University of Southern California. And they showed that amenities are a large factor in driving traffic to hospitals than clinical quality. As a result, amenity-rich hospitals with modern design features are attracting more patients, which is good for the hospital's top line. So yeah, just a little bit of, research to back up what I'm saying. So there was a famous study by Roger Ulrich in 1984. The study is called "View Through a Window May Influence Recovery from Surgery." He had 2 sets of patients, one with tree views and one with wall views. He showed, using clinical data, of course, that patients with tree views had shorter post-operative hospital stays, fewer negative evaluative comments from nurses, and had slightly lower scores with minor post-surgical complications. Wow! So just the view outside your window had an impact on their recovery, on these patients' post-operative recovery. Going back to Andrea Padin from Spain, she says that everything doesn't have to be plants. There are other types of vegetation. You can include branches. In larger offices, you could include some water elements. Some companies have even gone as far as to provide vegetable gardens for employees in patios so that they can plant their own fruits and herbs. That's pretty baller. That I would love that. She said that you would have to hire a professional, of course, to assess your workspace and see what can be possible with the space you have. So it's productive and at the same time gives you enough greenery. In the journal called Journal of Experimental Psychology Applied, there was a study conducted by Craig Knight and his colleagues. He had 34 participants and they worked in a collective lean space without plants, and 33 participants worked at desks with direct views of at least 2 plants from each desk. Both workspaces were on the same floor in a central London office building. So after 3 weeks, the participants answered questionnaires to measure their perceptions of air quality, concentration, workplace satisfaction, and productivity. The researchers found that the participants in the green office, no surprise, reported increased workplace satisfaction and better concentration and perceived air quality compared to the workers in the lean space. Okay, so we get it. Green space in the workplace is a cool thing. And it's not just cool, but it has a lot of benefits. Okay, so how about everything else? How can we green up our lives? How can we reconnect with the earth in other ways? Number 1, make contact with the earth. Whatever you live nearby, a beach, a trail, a mountain, frequent that as much as possible. I'm so bad because I live near a beach, but just parking and the whole logistical side of going to the beach is a nightmare sometimes. But it's no excuse because once you get your feet and your hands dirty in the elements, that is reconnecting with the earth. That is grounding yourself. And however you want to reconnect with the earth, I urge you that whatever it is, be mindful. Be mindful that your toes are digging in the sand. Be mindful that you are picking up dirt to plant a flower, right? So if you can't really get near nature, then bring nature to you. Start a little garden. Plant a flower with a single pot or have a whole little herb garden, right? Like we can find ways to bring nature to us or go to nature. My husband and I take walks outside every day, sometimes even 3 times a day. So reconnect with the earth. My friend in Seattle, her backyard is amazing because she has a huge herb and vegetable garden. So when I was there a few years ago, everything we needed for the salad, we basically picked in her backyard. And I felt like I was eating the best meal of my life because we had everything organic, everything was fresh and literally fresh right from her backyard. So it was amazing. And I really admire people that do that because you feel so connected with the earth. Open your windows as much as possible. I read something recently about how your indoor environment could be more filled with more pollutants than the outdoor environment. So open your windows, let sunlight come in. Sunlight is going to wake you up and coffee isn't. So get in nature or let nature in. Oh my God, my husband, when he edits this podcast, he knows that I'm not the biggest nature person in the sense that I don't like bugs. So when I'm hiking, we were hiking in Spain for a little bit and I saw the biggest beetle I've ever seen in my life. That really freaked me out. I don't like bugs, but I think in however it fits into your life. I like to lay on the beach and I like to take walks, but sometimes hiking can freak me out. So it's however you want to reconnect with nature, do what feels best to you. From an occupational therapist perspective, I don't just care about what you do, I care about how you do things. and what really is impacting your performance in life, what is impacting your well-being, what is impacting your quality of life. I mean, those are the things that we as occupational therapists are concerned about. So it is my mission to stop burnout in the workplace. And one way of doing that is to reconnect with nature and include these green spaces, not just at work, but reconnect with nature within our lives. So if increasing your connectedness with nature and having green spaces in your workplace allows for reduced stress, increased work satisfaction, and improved overall health, then I'm all for it. My personal views is that we can only pretend for so long that we are above nature. We can only pretend we are above nature for so long, but we need to understand that we need to make peace with it and bring it into our lives as much as possible. All right? Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. Capiche? ¿Entiendes? Muchas gracias. Thank you for listening. I love all of you, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again. Mwah. Bye. Thanks for listening. If you want more, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Also, share this episode with your friends, and I would be so grateful. If you feel inspired, leave a review on iTunes with an honest comment and or what you'd like to hear more of so you can help me out on my journey in delivering meaningful content. Thanks, mis amores.